Stephanie Lachey. Welcome back to my channel. I am doing my first ever sit down talk, I guess you can say. This is my first sit down where I discuss different things, different topics. I don't know if I will, like make this a full series. It may just be what it is. I just sit down whenever I feel compelled to do so. So anyway, and if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes that I have for this particular topic. So yeah. And also if I look anywhere else, I'm getting used to looking this way in the camera. So directly into the camera, because usually I will do videos that are faceless, but for my sit down talks or whatever, I like to be in front of the camera. I want you to see my face, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so, and if you hear any background noise, sorry, people like to speed down the street, so yeah. Anyway, so today I'm discussing how to overcome fears and doubts. Okay, this is a video rather that I wanted to make for a while, and I have sort of dealt with this a lot myself personally. So I wanted to, create something that would not only help me, but potentially could help other people, right? So I created I'm calling it a mini ebook. And it's only like 4 pages, I believe, but so yeah, a little mini ebook, and I will, maybe try to put it somewhere up on the screen so you can see. But I created this ebook, and it's about 10 questions, and I give a little treat at the end, which is I think like over 10 affirmations to use when it comes to overcoming your fears and doubts. But I wanted to just go through those questions and just kind of speak to ways that can kind of help you to overcome your fears and doubts so that it doesn't keep you stuck. That's the main reason a lot of us get stuck, is because we have fears and doubts around things that we're trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and go through these questions. Again, this is my first video, so it's not gonna be perfect. I may mess up, stumble over my words. It's Mercury retrograde if you're an astrology girly or guy. So yeah, we already know what that means. So don't hold it against me, okay? I'm putting myself out there. I'm trying to do this more because, yeah, I'm just trying to get better with expressing myself and being creative. Okay, so anyway, first things first, part 1 of the mini ebook, it states to name your fears, right? So I find that when you name your fears, when you are sort of honest with yourself when it comes to what it is your fear, what it is, you to have doubts around, it helps you to sort of like, what's the word? It helps you to prioritize, or not prioritize, process is what I was looking for. It helps you to process through these fears, these doubts, so that you can come to a resolution, on how to, get over the hump, if you will. Okay, so part 1, name your fears. So the number one question is, what is my biggest fear and how has it held me back in life? Okay, so with number 1, and I will put in the description box before I go on, I'll put in the description box how you can get the mini ebook. Okay, so before you finish this video, if you want to download the mini ebook, send me an email, and I will send it back to you, if that makes sense. Okay, all right. So yeah, like I said, number 1 is what is my biggest fear and how has it held me back in life? So for question number 1, what you want to do is list all your fears. Okay, list all your doubts. So say one of your fears is public speaking. like I'm doing, you know, even though no one is around and I'm just speaking to a camera, it can still give you a sense of fear because maybe you fear messing up in front of the camera. Maybe you fear that you'll look silly, you know, or you may not like one particular small thing about yourself, right? Or something on your body, right? Something may make you tick and it drives you nuts, okay? So this could be attributed to why you don't ever, you know, work towards public speaking, okay? So think about it in that way. So I want the purpose of number 1 is to get all your fears out on paper so that you can not only do you have it in your mind, right, but you have it on paper. So you can look at it and you can see it in your mind and you can see it on the paper. So that way, you know, you're getting it all out. You're airing it all out, if that makes sense. Do the same thing for your doubts, okay? So the fears and the doubts, and I feel like fear and doubt kind of coincide with each other. But what you want to do is just list it all out, okay? So number 2, what steps can I take today to face my fear head on? Okay, and I'll repeat that. Number 2, what steps can I take today to face my fear head on? And you can add doubts in there too. So one step that you're taking right now is actually following along through these questions, because obviously you clicked on this video because you want to know how to overcome your fears and doubts. Okay, so put that as one of your steps that you're taking. Okay, but for the rest of your steps, think of ways in which you can make small, like little small steps. Okay, so say for instance, you want to start working out more. So, but let's say you don't necessarily want to go to a gym. You could work out at home, right? You can, like 30 minutes, you can look on YouTube, YouTube like we're on. You can look at YouTube and put on a like 15-minute, 30-minute move or dance aerobics or something, you know what I mean? Whatever tickles your fancy with that. You can turn it on and you can do that for 15 minutes and 30 minutes, and then you don't have to go to the gym. Or if you like being outside in nature, you can go take a walk around your neighborhood. So it's just those little things that you can do. It doesn't have to be big and it doesn't have to be for a long time. You just take little steps bit by bit and you know, just, what am I trying to say? You can take these steps and it can, you know, start pushing you forward, if that makes sense. Okay, so then number 3, what is the worst that could happen if you take a risk? Okay, list all of your worst case scenarios and how would you handle it? Okay, again, I'll repeat that. Number 3 is, what is the worst that could happen if you take a risk? List all of your worst case scenarios and how would you handle it? So for this question, what I want you to do is to think deeply here, okay? Think deeply, and the goal of this question, okay, is to list out all the things that you believe could go wrong or will go wrong, okay? And the reason why you're doing that is because 9 times out of 10, when you list it all out, you'll see how ridiculous it is and you'll realize that this might not happen. You know, it's highly unlikely that it will happen. And if it does happen, you know what I'm saying, how will you handle it? How would you handle it? How would you go about handling it? Because if you're prepared, you know what I mean, for this, you know, worst case scenario, then you'll know how to handle it, right? You'll know how to act and then change the outcome, okay? All right, so in the mini ebook, I tell you, because I recommend that you, you know, write write these questions and answer these questions on paper, on a separate sheet of paper rather, so that you can burn or destroy the paper, the paper that you've listed your fears and doubts on, as well as the worst case scenarios. And the reason for that is you get it out so that you can see it on paper, right? And then you destroy it so you can eliminate it out of your subconscious, out of basically out of your body. Because even like when you think about, with fear, you tense up, and it has like an adverse effect on your body. Not only your body, your mind too. So that's the whole purpose of destroying it. If you are comfortable with burning the paper, make sure you have a microwave safe bowl to do that, and you do it in a environment that's safe, and you make sure you watch the paper and make sure it doesn't catch anything else on fire. Okay. But if say for instance, if you're watching this video and you're younger, do it with an adult so that you're safe. But if you don't feel comfortable burning the paper, then you can tear the paper up, you can crumble it up, you can throw it away. Which way you want to do it, the purpose is to destroy it. Once you get it out of your mind on the paper, you had a chance to sort of process through it, then that's when you throw it away. Okay, because we're trying to eliminate our fears and doubts. Okay. All right, so part 2, changing your perspectives. Okay, and the reason why I say it like that is because where the end result is us trying to get through this process, but also to change our mindset on things. Okay, so, and again, I'm looking at my notes, so don't hold it against me. So I have to look down. So part 2, changing your perspectives, like I said. Number 4, what past successes prove that I am capable of overcoming challenges? Okay. And so for number 4, you need to think about the times where, you've overcome adversity. Think about the times where you didn't let fear or doubt overtake you and you were able to accomplish something great. Okay. So think about all the times that happened. And I find that, when we think about the times when we succeeded, even if there were things that were, like stacked against us, that we ended up coming out on top. You know what I'm saying? We didn't allow for our fears, our doubts, or those obstacles to stop us. We just kept going. And sometimes, it can be easier said than done. Fears are going to be fears, doubts are going to be doubts. It's going to creep in. But the purpose is to think about the times where you were successful. Okay. All right. So number 5, how can I reframe my negative thoughts, especially negative self-talk, and turn them into positive affirmations? Okay. So for let me repeat that. How can I reframe my negative thoughts, especially negative self-talk, and turn them into positive affirmations? Okay, so here, think about all of the negative things that you think about the situation, think about your fears, doubts, or about yourself, and you getting things done or overcoming things, and change the negative to a positive, right? So because we've already eliminated the negative thoughts we have, right? We've already gotten rid of the fears and the doubts. We listed those out and we got rid of that. Okay. So what I want you to do here on number 5 is, we're thinking about the negative thoughts that we had, but we're going to write down the positive version of those negative thoughts, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, you're still thinking about it, but you're writing down positive. It's like positive reinforcement. Okay. All right. So number 6, is who are my biggest supporters? Okay. So again, who are my biggest supporters? So think about the people that, like sort of speak life into you, give you support, who, even those who challenge you to be better, right? Those who encourage you. Think about those people. Who are those people, and what do they say? And you can even write this down. I didn't necessarily put that in the mini ebook, but you can think about the things that they say to you, right? And you could put that in an affirmation possibly, or just simply write it down and look at it over and over, to kind of help you to get in a better frame of mind when it comes to overcoming your fears and doubts. Okay, so we hopefully, if you stayed with me this long, thank you so much. Okay, so number 7, what are my strengths and what are my skills? Okay, number 7 again, what are my strengths and what are my skills? Okay, so here, similar to number 6, and actually really similar to number 4, number 7, question number 7 is asking you what are your strengths and what are your skills. So here you want to think, what makes you successful? What are the skills? What are your strengths that make you successful? Okay. So for instance, because I try to give examples, just to drive the point home. Say that, for me, I was watching the With Love Megan show, which is great, by the way. Go check it out. And I was looking at her the few times that she did it. She was writing on things. Her penmanship was awesome, right? And so I was just like, some people are they naturally have good penmanship. That is just how they are. Some people need to practice, and I'm one of those people. My handwriting is whack. It's trash, and I can do that because I'm doing it in a joking manner. It's not something that I have any what's the word? Negativity around, I guess. So that's why I'm kind of saying it in a joking manner. Anyway, so I've been saying that I need to get a calligraphy kit and to practice, so I can practice my penmanship, right? But that's a step, that's an action that I'm taking to be better. So think about it in that sense. So when you think about your strengths and your skills, you are thinking about the things that make you successful. And again, sorry for that background noise, because they love to speed down the street for some reason. Anyway, think about if you are someone who has a lot of empathy. You're a good listener. You're there to help others, even without being asked. Also without being asked, you take initiative on certain things. Think about that. Think about, as far as skills go, maybe you are good at math. You can calculate large numbers in your head at at the drop of a hat, and that makes you successful. And maybe you are like one of the finance bros or girlies or whatever, and you do a great job at that. So think about basically what it all boils down to is just to think about the things that you are good at. Okay, that you're good at, that you have strengths in. Think about it that way. Hopefully I didn't go on a tangent. Hopefully I didn't. But anyway, I'm just trying to make sure I'm clear and concise in what I'm saying. So yeah, number 8, how can I turn failure into lessons for growth? Okay, again, that was, how can I turn failure into lessons for growth? And that's number 8. And it's kind of similar to, like number 4. And you would think that this would be sort of making you think back to to the negative, but it's really not, because it may not seem like it, but our failures, when we fail, you know, we can learn from it. So it can be a blessing in disguise a lot of times. So what you want to do here is to think about how, you know, those failures like got you to a better place, if that makes sense. So, you know, say like yeah, so if you were taking a class at university or college or whatever, and you didn't do so well on one of the tests that you got, one of the quizzes or whatever, and you made up in your mind that I'm going to do better the next time. So I'm going to study, okay? And I'm even going to possibly ask my professor for help. So you're taking steps. You're not allowing that fear, or doubt that I'm going to get a bad grade no matter what. You know what I mean? No matter what I do. What you're doing is you're flipping it. You're turning it into a positive, right? And you're saying, I'm going to do A, B, and C so that I can get this end result. Okay? So that's what I want you to think about for number 8 is, you know, what, you know, failures turned, you know, into blessings, or, you know, opportunities for growth. You know, what lessons did you get out of it? Okay? So number 9, what small actionable steps can I take to move past my fears and doubts? So again, you know, number 2 and number 9 are similar. It's kind of asking the same question, but if you notice, for part 1, I asked you to, you know, like destroy that first part. And the only reason why I'm bringing this question back up is because I want you to continue on what it is, you know, that what other steps are you going to take? Okay. So yeah, you know, what small actionable steps can I take to move past my fears and doubts? So beyond naming your fears, you know, thinking about your, you know, strengths, skills, and what steps you can take to move past your fears and doubts. You know, moving past all of that, and it's sort of like, you know, thinking beyond what I can do, thinking about, you know, I'm trying to think of a better explanation, but it's like, you know, if I didn't have these fears, if I didn't have these doubts, what do I believe I could do? You know what I mean? You know, what steps am I taking to get rid of the fears and the doubts? And again, I mentioned that this is step 1, but what are the rest of the steps? Okay, if that makes sense. Hopefully I'm making sense. Okay, so then we have number 10. We come to the end of the mini ebook. But anyway, so number 10, how will my life improve once I overcome my fears and doubts and step into my power? Again, how will my life improve once I overcome my fears and doubts and step into my power? So for here, and kind of piggybacking off of number 9, with the, you know, providing extra, you know, those extra steps and those extra, you know, things that you can do. Here, I want you to sort of like create a vision for yourself, like a vision statement, if that makes sense. Or, you know, how do you see yourself getting to the point where you overcome your fears and your doubts? Okay. What does your life look like? You know what I mean? Say if you have a specific goal, list out the things that you're going to do in order to obtain that specific outcome that you want. So yeah, here you're giving yourself a guideline, if you will, and how to get what you want, basically, which is, you know, to overcome fears and doubts, but also, you know, to tackle that thing that you're trying to accomplish. That's what you're trying to do. All right. So hopefully this video was helpful. And if you're interested, like I said, in getting the little mini ebook along with the affirmations in it, send me an email. And the email will be in the description box down below. And I will send it to you. Okay. So hopefully this helped. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much. And hopefully I make sense. I hope I did. But my only intention with this video, as well as this mini ebook, is just to spread some encouragement and hopefully help others with trying to overcome the fears and doubts, because yeah, it can creep up on you. It can creep up on you, and a lot of times you don't always overcome the fears and doubts. They sort of stick with you. But one what is it called, saying that I love is to do it scared. I find that when you do it, when you just go for it, a lot of times you come out on top. You're successful. So you can still have the fears within you, the doubts, but you don't let it control you. You know what I'm saying? You don't let it define your success. You overcome despite the fears and doubts. Okay. All right. So that's all for today, y'all. Hopefully, this is something that helps. And if you feel like it does, and you feel like, someone else might like to see this, share the video, give it a like, consider subscribing, because I will do more topics like these, as well as have more like downloadable things that I would create for people if they want it. And yeah. Hopefully not too bad for my first sit down, talk in front of the camera type thing. So yeah. Okay. Bye.